Before every great idea, there was a question. Before every awakening, a shadow. Welcome to One Page at a Time, where we explore a single thought that could change everything. On the shortness of life, Seneca. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Life is long enough, and it's been given to us in generous measure for accomplishing the greatest things, if all of it is well invested. But when life is squandered through soft and careless living, and spent on no worthwhile pursuit, death finally presses in, and we realize that the life we didn't notice passing has already passed away. So it is. The life we are given isn't short, but we make it short. We're not poorly provided for, but we are wasteful of life. Just as impressive wealth can be squandered instantly when it passes into the hands of a poor manager, while even modest wealth grows under the care of a responsible guardian, so too our lifetime offers ample scope to the person who maps it out wisely. Why do we complain about nature? It has acted generously. Life, if you know how to use it, is long, but one person is trapped by greedy ambition. Another is buried in pointless work. This one is soaked in wine. That one is slack with idleness. One is exhausted by political ambition, forever seeking approval. Another races across land and sea in pursuit of profit. Some are obsessed with military glory, inflicting danger or fearing it. Others wear themselves out serving ungrateful masters. Many are kept busy either striving after others' wealth or complaining about their own. Some have no consistent goal in life and are thrown from one pursuit to the next by their own restlessness. Others have no direction at all, and death surprises them while they're still yawning. I cannot doubt the truth of that ancient poetic line, only a tiny part of life is really lived. All the rest is not life, but merely time. Vices surround us on every side. They weigh us down and keep our eyes lowered toward mere desire, never allowing us to rise and see the truth. Even if we do find a moment of peace, we still toss and turn, like the ocean, which continues to swell even after the wind has died down. We never find true calm, because our desires never rest. You think I'm only speaking of those who admit their faults? Look instead at the successful, the admired, the wealthy. Many of them are choked by their own success. How many have found wealth to be a burden? How many are drained by their constant need to impress, always performing, always being seen? How many grow sick and pale from endless pleasures? How many are trapped by a crowd of clients and obligations with no freedom at all? Look at them from the lowest to the highest. This one hires a lawyer. Another answers the summons. One stands trial. Another defends him. Another presides as judge. Yet no one is living for himself. Each is consumed in service to someone else. Ask about the names everyone knows, the so-called powerful men, and you'll find they only exist in service to one another. One serves a second, that one serves a third. No one is his own man, and still, some complain with anger that their superior didn't receive them. But how can you blame him for being too busy, when you never made time for yourself? At least he, however proudly, glanced at you, maybe even listened. But you never once looked within. You never once listened to your own soul. So why expect others to care for you when you've never cared for yourself? All the great minds throughout history agree on one thing, yet even they have failed to express just how bizarre this blindness is. No one allows another to seize his land or steal from his home. People will defend their property with force, even over a small boundary dispute. But when it comes to our very lives, we let others trample through without protest. In fact, we often invite them in. No one shares out his money freely. Yet each of us hands out our time, as if we had infinite supply. People are careful with their possessions, but with time, they are reckless with the one thing it's actually wise to be greedy about. So I'd like to stop one of these elders and say, you're pushing 100 years and proud of your age. But tell me, how much of that time was truly yours? How much was spent in debt, in lust, serving a master, entertaining clients, arguing with your spouse, punishing your servants, running meaningless errands? What about all the sickness you brought on yourself, the time that lay idle? Do the math. and you'll see how little of your life you truly lived. Look back now. When were you truly in control of your day? How many of your intentions actually became reality? When did you ever belong fully to yourself? When was your mind at peace? What did you truly accomplish in all those years? How many people stole your time and you didn't even notice? How much was lost to anxiety, to empty joy, to selfish desire, to pointless talk? How little is left for you from all that you were given? You'll come to realize you are dying before your time. And why? Because you live as if you'll live forever. Your own frailty never enters your mind. You don't notice how much time has already passed. You waste the present moment as if it were unlimited, but that very day you give away so casually could be your last. You fear everything like a mortal, yet you desire everything like you were immortal. You'll hear people say, after I turn 50, I'll retire. When I'm 60, I'll start living slowly. But what guarantee do you have that you'll live that long? Who promised you that the plan will go according to your timeline? Are you not ashamed to reserve for yourself only the scraps of your life? To give to philosophy only the moments that aren't useful for anything else? How foolish to begin living, just when life is almost over. How blind to our own mortality, to postpone wisdom until the years that few of us ever reach. When I finished reading these words from Seneca, I sat in silence, not because I didn't understand, but because I did. His words cut through time like a blade. They weren't written for the rich or the powerful. They weren't written for ancient Rome. They were written for me, for you, for anyone who's ever felt the quiet ache of wasted time. We live like time is infinite, like tomorrow is promised. We fill our calendars, our minds, our hands, with everything except the present moment. We fear death, yet we hand our lives away without a second thought. We're careful with money, protective of our image, guarded with our feelings. But we are reckless with the one thing we can never get back, our time. We say we're too busy. But busy doing what? Chasing approval? Scrolling through strangers' lives? Trying to feel important in a world that measures worth in likes, clicks, and noise? Seneca wasn't condemning activity, he was challenging distraction. He wasn't saying we should do less. He was asking us to live on purpose. He reminds us that life is long, if we know how to use it. And yet most of us, myself included, often drift through days we don't even remember. We wake up tired, we work without presence, we numb ourselves with entertainment, and we fall asleep wondering where the time went. But time didn't go anywhere. We gave it away, piece by piece, minute by minute, to things that didn't matter, to people who never asked for it, to routines we never questioned. And then we say, life is short. But is it? Or have we just never really lived it? Seneca says that even modest time, if well invested, is enough for greatness. Not greatness in the eyes of the world, but the quiet, peaceful greatness of being truly present, of living with awareness, of making decisions not from fear or habit, but from clarity and love. So I ask myself, and maybe you'll ask yourself too, what am I doing with the time I've been given? Not tomorrow, not next year. Today, what if this hour was sacred? What if my attention was a gift, not a currency? What would happen if I stopped outsourcing my existence to other people's expectations? What if I stopped trying to impress and started trying to become? Not someone else, just myself. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more saving life for later. No more leaving the best of me for the scraps of time left over at the end of the day. Because life is not measured in length, it's measured in depth. And the deepest lives are often the simplest. The most meaningful hours are not the most productive ones, but the most honest. So maybe, just for today, I'll choose to slow down, to breathe, to say no to what doesn't matter, to say yes to what does. Because if I don't guard my time, no one else will. And if I don't begin living now, when?